I did want to bring this up because it was kind of related to when we were talking about Alim Mcneel, but PFF had an article. They went through and named every team's most underrated player. We can go through a couple teams if you'd like, but I do want to show who they had the Lions, or what underrated player they have for the Lions. And it kind of ties into our convo we had earlier, and it's Alim Mcneel, of course, ironically enough, the guy we just talked about. And their description here is McNeil might have been one of the most improved players of the 2023 season. The former third-round pick went from earning a 69.8 PFF overall grade in his second season to an 86.9 mark in 2023, which ranked seventh among interior defenders. He was just one of 6 players at the position to earn 75 plus run defense and pass rush grades last season.
That's on. Guys, do you want to go, Jeff?
No, go. I'll go next.
DJ Reader's in the building. Alim Mcneel takes another jump. I think it's a simple fact. I think no one's kind of realizing Alim Mcneel around the league. I don't think people understand. If Alim Mcneel didn't get hurt down the stretch last year, there's a chance he's at the Pro Bowl. He had 6.5 sacks going into what week was it? 14, 15, and he was playing at a very high level. And that was a Pro Bowl type of guy right there. This year, now you add DJ Reader. Hopefully, this other side of the offensive line or defensive line across from Hutch develops. Spoke on it a little 20 minutes ago. Terrell Williams, Alim Mcneel is going to take another jump. He took one last year. Now he's going to take a bigger one. I already said it before. I think he gets 9+ sacks. I think he gets 9+ sacks this year. If he stays healthy, it's 9+ sacks, almost double digits.
I mean, I don't hate Alim at all with that pick, but I think it's still Alex Anzalone. I mean, DJ Reader is going to have a huge impact for him as well, because you think about offensive linemen with running backs as far as opening up lanes. We can say the same thing with DJ Reader automatically commanding a double team. That's going to help Alex Anzalone get more tackles for losses, make plays behind the backfield when they want to blitz them. So I think Anzalone is one of the players that around the NFL is just underrated in general, but for the Lions, defensively especially, he is by far the most underrated player on this team, in my opinion.
Okay, so I figured you two were going players defensively, and kind of Jeff too.
No, guy, speak your passion, Gentry.
It's Monty.
Yep,
that's what it is. Most really efficient player, averaging like almost 5 yards a carry. Is not as flashy as Gibbs, so the hype obviously gets drawn away. But 13 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Monty has gone so under the radar. You had some clown on the Packers thing the other day say how he's not a good running back, blah, 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 or he's mid. Monty is our RB1 on most teams throughout the NFL. We are just drawn away because Gibbs is such a great player, rightfully so. But without Monty, that running back room is not the same. It would not be as easy as it is for Gibbs. The looks just wouldn't be the same. Monty is my underrated player for the Lions.
Yeah, go. What do you think, Boone?
Jeff, give yours real quick, because I didn't realize. I apologize, boys. I didn't know we were giving out underrated players. I thought we were just breaking down Alim. That's on me.
Oh, shit.
I think it's you guys both had great options. I don't think there's a bunch of underrated players. I think you can say that with the Lions in a way, I guess, because they don't have. I have to watch how I say this, but nationally, they don't have like these guys that are superstars. There's guys that we believe are in terms of talent, but in terms of like marketing, like so you could be like, well, this guy's underrated. Like Ahmed Ra, all these guys are underrated. I think all these players are really underrated. But Alex Anzalone, Dave Montgomery, those are 2 really good options. This is where I had to really think in terms of an underrated player. And honestly, I think this year, someone who is underrated, and that this is what going into this year, given who departed, I'm going to go with Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think he is underrated. I do. I think he is underrated. I think people look at DPJ as someone who will give you, $150, 200 yards. Like, I think he can not only give you what Reynolds gave you, but potentially, I think he has higher upside than Reynolds. Like I said, with Baker in Cleveland, he had a better season than Reynolds has ever had. And I think people are so quick to forget about that. So I'm going to go this year. I think people are really sleeping on Donovan Peoples-Jones. And I think Brad Holmes knows that just as much as I do, because he didn't address wide receiver.
But what about Josh Reynolds?
Yeah, the almighty Lord and
Oh
Savior.
my gosh,
Josh Reynolds.
600
No,
yards.
I'm gonna
Career
go with
high.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
What are we gonna do? We
Yeah.
lost him. We gotta go get him. We gotta get him back. Call him, Booner.
I think DPJ's
Hope
man.
you boys
he's gonna-
don't regret this one.
Go
All right,
on,
I've got one now. I've got one. I'm going to stay on offense here. I'm not going to go running back. I'm not going to go receiver. I'm not going to go tight end, quarter. No. Put me in the trenches, boys. Put me in the trenches. Give me Graham Glasgow as the most underrated player out here. I think Graham Glasgow, think about this, fellas. He doesn't just play left, right guard. No, that man, if Frank Ragnow needs a week off, guess who goes in? Graham Glasgow. And he's not just going out there just, oh, no, I'm just going to go out there and play some snaps. No, he goes out there and he's one of the highest. And I know PFF, it's a thing where we pick and choose. But when we're breaking down offensive linemen, typically that's what you want to look at. Graham Glasgow has been one of the highest graded guards in PFF week after week. As a guy that you brought in last year just to be a backup for you. And he's ended up turning around a 1-year deal here into a 3-year deal. And now he's a starting guard on your team. And he's going to be starting for the next couple of years. He is a piece that, because you have Penei Sewell, you have Frank Ragnow, you have Taylor Decker. No one sits there and thinks about Graham Glasgow, but Graham Glasgow goes out there week after week. He's not injury prone. He goes out there, he's consistent, stays healthy, and he goes out there and he's a legit dude that's not going to let you. He's not giving up sacks, and he's great in the run game. I think Graham Glasgow should be talked about a little bit more here, fellas. I'm going Graham. Shout out Graham.
I like that one, Boone.
Thank you, boys.
Good.
I almost did Frank, but then I'm in my head, Frank's an all-pro. He was second team all-pro. Not really underrated.
Yeah, Graham, you notice, man, when Graham wasn't there, it's different. Life is different because
sure.
of the
Just different with Colby Sorsdal.
Oh yeah. It's bad. Listen. If I'm being honest, fellas, I think I might have the most underrated pick out of all you guys.
I would agree. Iafrate.
I'm just talking that ish. I'm just talking.
I don't think so. I disagree.
We know.
Well, you're wrong.
No, I disagree because the underrated, like we've seen David Montgomery do it, like, and no one talks about him. He's put a bunch of numbers up. We've seen Ansel go out there and be a dog, and no one talks about him. Those are guys who are underrated, who put numbers up consistently year after year after year after year. Same with Graham Glasgow. DPJ, what? He's done it 1 year in his career. You're making me hate on DPJ, and that's not what I'm doing.
That, Boone.
But he's over there saying, let me talk my
narrative comes from the guy who wanted a receiver.
I love
so
DPJ.
Bad.
I'm in on DPJ.
The Michigan man.
DPJ. If we're ranking underrated players, DPJ's at the bottom because he needs to go out there and prove it before he can be underrated. You cannot. You have to put the numbers up in this.
Hey, Booner,